getting into a little bit of the holiday spirit, I decided to team up with a program called Head Start. We're going to offer about 200 kids the opportunity to buy some Halloween costumes. I remember when I was a kid, and I wanted to dress up as my favorite person or superhero. And I know there's some families out there struggling, so I wanted to find a way to provide an opportunity for them to, if they would like to take advantage of buying a costume. And I also understand that not everybody celebrates this holiday, so also this Sunday, as well as with the costumes, I'll be giving out some food for those who want to come and enjoy some food or see if they have some good costumes. I think it'd be fun. It's interesting. I think the main reason for this is because I think as we get into the holidays, I think it's important to really focus on how you can apply random acts of kindness into your life. This is my personal way of trying to do it, but I also feel that people have many other ways to do it. So this is my version, so I encourage people to try to figure out what their version of that random acts of kindness looks like. So that's what I'm talking about today, and questions for you.
What was the name of the group that you're teaming up with?
Head Start in Seattle.
One word?
Yep.
Where is that taking place on Sunday?
I will post it on Instagram or one of the social media pages that I love to have.
What was the best Halloween costume that you had growing up?
Two. It was either the Ninja Turtle one or the Batman one where you can have the fake abs, six-pack. I was fooled for many years. I thought he really had a six-pack, but found out as I got older it was just a suit. So.
Is that where the Ninja Turtle thing started?
Nah, the Ninja Turtle thing started really, I guess, when I was a kid. I have a picture of myself when I was probably like 6 months old, sitting in a Ninja Turtle chair. And then I guess from what I was told, I was very hard to calm down as a kid. But as soon as they put Ninja Turtles on, I calmed down. And so it was just always on at home because they were always trying to calm me down, I guess.
Which Ninja Turtle did you associate with?
Raphael, the red one. It's my favorite color.
Turning to defense now, what have you seen in that third down conversion rate and how you guys have improved in that in the last few weeks?
I think we just found a way to get off the field. I think we, ran a little bit more man, applied a little bit more pressure. And, I think it was just, guys locking in, understanding that, we got to get off this field. Some of the issues that we were having, early on in the season where we weren't finding ways to get off the field. And so, it became more of a focus, more of an emphasis in making sure that, we just do our best to get the offense the ball back as fast as we can.
With Trevor Lawrence, his completion percentage has gone up in the last few weeks. His turnovers have gone down. How have you seen him progress in his rookie season?
I think it's just kind of like any young quarterback. When you first come into the league, you kind of want it to be how it was in college, and you're looking for those big plays, and you're not taking what's in front of you. So I think that's the biggest thing that I see is he's starting to take the routes that he has in front of him, and trying to work his way down the field instead of just going for the home run every single time. So that's been the adjustment. They're using him a little bit on the read zone. So they're putting the ball in his hands a little bit more on read zone, just kind of really third down and some short yardage situations. But, he's trying to make the best decision. So I think that's the improvement I see.
Where have you seen the defense kind of make its strides over the last few weeks? I know you guys haven't got the wins you want, but it feels like your side of the ball has made some steady little improvements. Where do you think that's come from?
I think some of the biggest strides have been in the pass coverage. I think we've done a lot better in that area. Like I said, third downs have been a big one too, as well as in the red zone. We've been finding a way to keep teams, out of the end zone. So, I think we just have to make sure we continue to push that. And, we had a kind of a situation where they scored last game at the second half. You take that away, then this game's a little bit different. So we have to find a way to make sure that we don't put ourselves in bad positions to give them opportunities to score.
This game's a unique one, getting to face an offense that's got two former coordinators from here running the plays and stuff. How similar and different does that offense look? Obviously, Urban Meyer being there changes things a little bit as well.
I think the mentality is the same. I think the difference is just the formations and things like that. So, when you're going to get somebody who knows your defense and knows kind of your mentality, you have to, kind of be ready for them to run certain plays that they may not have shown thus far. But they're doing a really good job of trying to establish that run game and then working with the boots. They have a lot of boots. Off of their run game. So I think that's the biggest similarities is just, trying to run the football and letting the run game open up the pass game. And I'm pretty sure they'll try to find a way to do the same thing.
Does it change stuff for you? Like, do you have to change up calls or anything when they've got two offensive, coordinator and quarterbacks coach that have both gone against you in practice for years?
Not really. I mean, you don't want to go change your whole defense up for one game. You know what I mean? So they know some plays, but we've also, made some adjustments and some changes that they don't know. So at the end of the day, we're all professionals. The game is simple. They have the ball. We got to take it from them and tackle it. So no matter what they know, it always comes down to that.
What's the key to managing the coverage and the pass rush?
A lot of it is timing. The faster the D-line or the linebackers when they're blitzing, safety when they're blitzing gets to the quarterback, the less time guys have to cover. And once you do that, you rattle the quarterback, and he's trying to make passes quick, and that's when you see some errant passes or some interceptions or things of that nature happen. So that's kind of how it plays in, as well as on the the back end. When you're covering well, it buys time for those guys to get there to the quarterback. So it all works hand in hand.
Have you seen that improve over the last month or so?
I have seen that improve for sure.
That particular improvement?
I think it's just mindset. A lot of that is just heart and just wanting to get to the quarterback.
What's the challenge of James Robinson? He's averaging 5.5 a carry this year.
He runs hard, man. They have a really good scheme on how they block up certain fronts. So when he hits the hole, he goes, and you watch him break a lot of tackles. He's driving his feet. He runs hungry. So it's going to be a good challenge for us.
If you didn't have like businesses and stuff to promote or things that you're doing, would you have social media?
If I didn't play football, I probably wouldn't have social media, to be honest, because I don't really care for it. But when I was a kid, the people that we looked up to wasn't accessible. So although I may not look at it as much as I should or be on it as much as I should, I think it's always an opportunity to connect with my fans in a way where I wasn't able to connect with people that I looked up to growing up. So that's kind of why I have it.
When did you start to realize people were looking up to you and emulating how you carried yourself or how you
I don't know. You just have, your nephews and your family members watching every move, your brothers. I think it starts there. And then, you have a lot of young guys coming up and asking you questions, things like that. Like this, you've been playing in the league long enough when, a guy from another team comes up and says, hey, I wore your jersey as a kid. I was like, I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or, what. But, it's never really been about, like, other people. I just, I had great parents that instilled a lot of amazing things into me, and I just wanted to make them proud and, be a person that people can look to and say does things the right way for the most part. So.
Pete mentioned that after the Super Bowl win, that the next year he showed you guys all the close games you played, kind of as a reminder, like, hey, just because you won those games, almost any game can go either way. Is that something over your career that you've just realized in this league, that the difference of a 13-3 season and a losing season can be pretty razor thin?
Yeah, for sure. Even if you look at this team right now, they don't have the wins, but if you watch the film and look at the games, they've been in a lot of those games. I think they were up on Cincinnati. They had Arizona. They were up on Arizona as well, and then didn't finish the games. And so sometimes it is a play or two here that can change your whole season. So I think that's why you have optimism. That's why you understand each play is important because you never know which one is going to be the deciding point of the game. And so, there's a lot of football left, and we definitely feel like, we can position ourselves on a nice little run if we, get up our way.
What was it like seeing some of those old cut-ups of the 2013 season?
2013 season is.
To send the message of how close things can be.
It's always interesting seeing, 2013 season. I think, my swag was a little different. I was definitely a little, I wasn't as big as I was. I came in pretty skinny. I thought I was buff, but I guess I needed to do a little more push-ups. And you just kind of watch plays, and as you're watching plays, I'm like a visual person. So as I see a play, I remember a conversation that I was having in the play. And so a lot of it is just reminiscing those moments that you had, those funny moments that people don't get to hear, those plays that turned out good but weren't supposed to turn out good. And so it's cool.
In terms of how quickly you guys, maybe not quickly, but adjusting stuff in game on defense, or maybe week to week when you guys get the beat on things, how much credit does Ken deserve for scheming up those adjustments or making those adjustments that you guys need week to week?
Well, I think he deserves a lot of credit. I think his job is a very hard job. When we're doing well, it's the players. When we're doing not so well, it's him. And so, he's done a really good job of making adjustments, putting guys in different positions to try to make some plays. And, he's been a big key to why we've been able to turn it around these last few games.
A couple of weeks ago, we talked to Jordan Brooks, and he said that things had started to slow down for him. He could see things better. But what have you seen, and maybe having some of those conversations in game with him?
Yeah, I just think you watch him. You see him put in the work. I think he's, in the building early, studying plays, and us having conversations. You see the game slowing down, as it tends to do in your second and third year. And he's just out there making faster reads and just trusting himself. A lot of the times, when you're younger, you don't trust yourself to make those plays that you can see. And so you see him kind of coming into his zone and trusting what he sees and playing fast.
Is that because you're afraid of making a mistake, that you don't trust yourself as a younger player?
Yeah, as a young player, you don't want to make a mistake because, when you make a mistake, it's like a really big deal to the coaches. So, and so you definitely, you're conscious of it. So you have to block that out and understand that this is a game where you're going to make mistakes. We're imperfect people. So mistakes are bound to happen. And yes, he's still a rookie, for sure.
Until when?
I'm not sure yet. I'm still deciding. Maybe after a rookie dinner, maybe another dinner.
If I remember correctly, it was going to be around mid-season.
Sometimes like people call audibles and they change things up. And so, as it sits right now, it's still, mid-season, but we're at 17 games. So is it 8.5? Like, we don't know. So we're trying to figure it out.
Were you impressed by how high he jumped on that one play?
I was impressed at how he jumped. I definitely feel like he could have caught it if he got two hands. But that's being a little hard, you know what I mean? So, it was a great play, especially in that moment to get us off the field. Like like I said, I think he's coming into his zone and really trusting his ability to play this game of football.
Jamal Agnew is a guy that's been big in special teams for them, but now he's starting to have a bigger role in offense. What do you see out of him?
You definitely have to be aware when he's on the on the field. He's a playmaker. He's a guy that, like you said, special teams and stuff like that. But you get the ball in his hands, he can do some amazing things. So, I think the biggest thing is us understand when he checks into the game and realize they're going to try to get him the ball and make our tackles.
Anything else, guys? Do you like pregame stuff right before you guys go warm up and stuff? Do you address the whole team? Is that you usually in the middle doing that?
Yep.
Do you know what you're gonna say before?
No. I don't. A lot of what I say, I feel like I just pay attention to what's going on in the week and just like the vibe of that game or the vibe of that Sunday. And I might jot down some mental notes of things that I want to say. But, it never comes out how you want it to come out. But, as long as you have the order in which you put things in, it always tends to work out. I like to listen to a lot of people that I appreciate the way they speak before the game or just before the season. So, I feel like if I can do it like them, then I'll be all right.
When do you save that moment for? At what point before the game do
Right before we go out.
while you're in the tunnel or in the locker room?
I talk to the team, the whole team, right before we go out. Right before we go out to, they announce our names and stuff like that.
When did you start doing that?
I started doing it a little bit when Cam was, what was that, 2016, 15, give or take. Me and Cam would switch off a little bit, so he would go, then I would go. And obviously, as he transitioned out, it was other people, but then it just got easier to just take that role on and not worry about having to find somebody to speak. And so I just try to get better at it.
Did you do that at Utah State too?
Yes, I'm sure I did. It's a long time ago. Conversations was a little bit different.
Thank you, Bobby.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Bobby.